Hello, everybody. Welcome to Middle School GSA. My name is Squeebo, and my pronouns are they, them. And I just want to remind everybody, we are not middle schoolers. Well, yeah, we are not middle schoolers. None of us are middle schoolers. We have never been to middle school. We don't know what that is. Stop asking us about it.
Yeah, stop asking us about middle school. We don't know anything about it.
I'm joined today by my two lovely co-hosts, Demi.
Hi, I'm Demi. My
you.
pronouns are she, her.
And I'm Felonious Ferris. My pronouns are they, them.
Amazing. Now, we like to play a little game here on MSGSA. During the intros, when we have a new guest, we like to play a little game where we play a little game, okay? And in that game, we like to play a little game where we ask them what their favorite pizza topping is. And Squeebo, I want to know, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Is it combination of toppings or just one topping?
Just one topping. Like if you got cheese pizza
and
one topping. No.
Well.
Don't give other podcasts publicity.
Yeah, like Chuckle Sandwich needs our publicity.
No. I mean, Demi didn't know Chuckle Sandwich.
So are you into
She'll check it out.
Are you like
pineapple?
Anchovies?
Pineapple is my answer.
Really? Just pineapple?
Answer.
Damn.
What do you mean?
I thought you would go with like tomatoes or like jalapeno.
No, I don't. Like that. I don't really like. I mean, tomatoes on my pizza are okay. What is this? You haven't done this to your guests.
Yeah,
before.
we have.
And you're
Ferris. We do this all the time, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Demigloom. We do this all
the time.
Come on,
play along. Play along. Play along.
Don't gaslight.
It's not gaslighting. It's just lying. Okay, I'm old school. I'm a pie in the face, just straight up lie. No hint of truth. No fancy tactics.
Is lying. That's the point of gaslighting.
No, gaslighting is lying, but lying isn't necessarily gaslighting.
Yeah, I know, and you were
gaslighting.
Gaslighting isn't real. You made it up. You're crazy.
You're insane.
Right.
Yeah, you need to check yourself into a mental hospital and get yourself lobotomized, and then come back to me and be totally reliant on me for everything.
All right, Squeebo the last. What is our topic for today?
Oh, well, our topic is a really...
No, it's not.
Vigilante justice.
No, it's not. You're insane. Sorry, go on.
The bit is just abuse Squeebo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, as I was trying to say, our topic is vigilante justice. What we're going to talk about what it is, why it exists, why people do it. Is it good or bad? Oh, we'll find out today's...
In a world where we could all agree our justice system is failing to do what it is intended to do we take justice into our own hands? Does the civilian population take justice into their own hands? Today we're going to find out. Today we're going to talk about it. When and where it's appropriate.
Elon Musk?
Good question. Let's talk about it.
Let's go back to feudalism.
So what is vigilante justice or vigilantism? Is it vigilantism or vigilantism?
Probably ism.
Well, look it up so that you don't pronounce it wrong the whole show.
Yeah, Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yep.
You know you're Jamie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who the
you
fuck
are
is
Jamie. It's the guy on Joe Rogan who pulls things up.
Oh.
That's his whole job. Is Joe Rogan's just like,
Rogan.
Jamie, pull it up. Yeah, you're so fucking proud of yourself. Congratulations. You're so cool.
True.
Yeah, I don't validate that guy with my attention.
True.
Vigilantism.
Yeah, vigilante. That's what I thought. I knew it was tism.
I love tism.
Okay, so definitions of vigilantism.
Vigilantism.
Vagina autism.
Oh!
Okay.
Whoa!
Okay, so to me, it's the act of taking your perceived justice into your own hands. If you believe that something has not been accounted for in society, you'll take that burden on yourself. And then the official definition is the act of preventing, investigating, and punishing perceived offenses and crimes without legal authority. Okay, that makes sense.
Outside of the established justice system. It's kind of like the guerrilla warfare version of justice, where it's like the normal civilian population decides to tackle injustice without authority
Not quite guerrilla warfare.
I didn't say it was guerrilla warfare. I said it's like the guerrilla warfare version.
Yeah, but
no,
it's not.
Still doesn't apply.
But it's not.
It's just a word, Demi.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay, Ferris, tell me why. Tell me why.
Guerrilla warfare? Okay, give me a second.
I didn't say it was guerrilla warfare.
But you said it's like the guerrilla warfare
Version of justice.
Which means that the connotations that guerrilla warfare applies to vigilante. Because guerrilla warfare is just like, it's not civilians.
That can be guerrilla warfare. That's a form of it.
Guerrilla warfare is just military activity that occurs in small units.
Yeah,
small independent units, which...
Well, in school they told me that guerrilla warfare was the
when a bunch
recruiting...
of monkeys beat each other up.
That and
so true.
also the recruiting of the civilian population to handle warfare, domestic warfare.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, and boy was school wrong. I later found out that gorillas aren't monkeys.
Yeah. Shut up, dude. Oh my god.
What,
apes.
I came onto here to talk.
Wait, are gorillas a form of ape?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, I told you guys that I'm not intelligent, okay? And you guys are going, no, Demi, you guys keep gassing me up. Like, oh my god, yeah, you're so smart, Demi. How could you possibly think you're unintelligent? And then shit like this happens. I don't know anything. I literally know nothing.
And being intelligent are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for the sake of argument, I know nothing. I don't know anything. Don't be surprised when I don't know things. I am unable to retain basic information. I don't remember anything. I can't focus. And when people tell me things, I can kind of remember them, but not for a long time.
I am white. I am... What's
I am white.
I am sure.
I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with my mom. Am I pulling an 8 Mile?
Yes. Well, no, because we weren't even planning on insulting
Anyways,
you.
I was wrong. Guerrilla warfare is not comparable to vigilante justice.
Just cut all of that
Very
out.
sorry. No, I'm keeping
Oh,
it in. This is funny.
that was a good
This is
bit.
funny. It was a good bit. Good bit.
Good bit.
Anyways, moving forward, I think it's time to talk
yeah.
about like how vigilante justice is enacted historically, or how it has been enacted, and whether or not we think it's a good thing.
So,
is everybody okay
and how
with that?
it's evolved.
So it all starts when a guy kills your parents in an alley, and then they have a bunch of money, and then you're raised by your butler, and you become like crazy at karate, and you use your awesome money to get yourself a super fun suit, and then you go out and you beat up the jonkler.
No, it starts when some people break into your car and steal your stereo, and you walk out with your kid, and you see that happened, and you're also a special ed teacher, and then you're like, this is bullshit. There's too much crime in the Seattle area, and then you're like, okay, I need to dress up like a comic book character, and then you get like a net gun, and then you try to shoot criminals with it, and then it gets blown onto you, and then in the wind, and then what do you say? Oh about
just getting that white stuff sprayed on you.
Shut up. It's when like
Jesus.
you try to shoot. It's when you try to shoot a criminal with a net gun. It's when you like try to become a superhero like in a comic book.
Shot all over you, all over your body.
Our podcast has middle school in the title. We can't be making jokes like this.
Okay, leave your suggestions in the comments on what we change our name to.
Yeah, we need to change the name. But anyways,
because we talk, or y'all talk about it every episode, that it just causes more and more issues.
This is true.
Yeah. But
it starts when basically you witness a lot of crime in the greater Seattle area of Washington. And Seattle's in Washington, right? Yep, it is. It's when you see a bunch of crime in the Seattle area and you're like, this is bullshit. I'm taking matters into my own hands. And you use your military background to fight crime. You buy a bunch of gadgets like Batman. You try to shoot criminals with a net gun, but like the wind blows it onto you and you get stuck, and then you get your shit taken. But you eventually like evolve and get better and better and better until you become an adequate crime fighter and start a movement in Seattle called the Seattle Superhero Movement. And this is all a true story because this guy named Phoenix Jones did it. And he's a real life superhero in Seattle who was pretty weird. He was also like an MMA fighter, and he wore like a Batman-like costume and fought a bunch of crime. And yeah,
dude, I didn't think this was real. I thought this was like
right now.
The HBO version of Rorschach.
You haven't seen the
something.
HBO Watchmen show, have you?
No.
Rorschach's not in it, sadly. Well, spoiler alert for Watchmen. Skip 20 seconds if you haven't read Watchmen. Rorschach dies in the end.
Right. So is the HBO show like a
it's a sequel.
Oh,
it's a 10 out of 10 show, by the way.
I didn't know that.
HBO Watchmen HBO Watchmen actually does dive into vigilante justice very well, way better than we can. And it's really cool, and you should watch it. It's a 10 out of 10 show. Felonious Ferris agrees with me, right?
I do agree with you. It's a great show. I have it on Blu-ray. It's true.
So aside from like ridiculous cases like the people who dress up as superheroes and try to be like comic book characters, what's like a tangible, like down-to-earth case of vigilante justice that happens in real life that we could talk about? Something that we have to worry about happening again.
Wait, clarify that. Like a moment that we wish will never happen again?
No, I just mean something that we can expect to be a part of our society. Rather than something like something crazy like Phoenix Jones, like that's probably not going to happen again.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Well, something that's been popping up as, you know, more and more people have computers is like online vigilantism. That can be either taking down sites taking down sites that distribute illegal material. It could be helping people avoid scams. Like that's all a very positive use of vigilante justice, I believe, because the internet is still quite unregulated.
I can hear your controller or your keyboard. Go on.
I mean, you get what I'm saying. Is like it's something you can do on your own. You don't need to make a big spectacle out of it. But some people do. Some people take the fact that people have seen their good deeds and have taken advantage of that, so have shifted towards promoting things that are, also quite controlling or manipulative, like gambling websites. That's a lot of the hackers who do, like, internet vigilantism. They also take brand deals from places that take advantage of, young people or people who are having gambling. I digress. That's just one aspect I think is interesting, because they do make a pretty positive thing. It's pretty easily repeatable, and I'm interested in seeing where that evolves.
Do you know, is his name Jim Browning?
He sounds incredibly familiar.
He's a guy who like shuts down or tries to get scam places shut down.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim Browning.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He makes people basically spreads awareness about scams and like hacks into their security cameras and shit and like exposes them live in front of their faces. Exposes their dishonesty. Sorry, people yelling. There's also like organized hacktivism from back in the day, like Anonymous. I think is the most high profile example I can think of. They would shut down websites. I think the best thing, the coolest thing that I can think of off the top of my head that people do online for vigilantism is tracking down animal abusers and putting them to justice and getting them to stop.
Or abusers
of any kind, but especially animal abusers. Like, I don't know if you guys, they did a documentary called like "Don't Fuck with Cats" or whatever. That basically just dives into like if you fuck with cats on the internet, if you post animal abuse content, like you have pretty high chance that people on forum websites, particularly 4chan, are going to track you down and bring you to justice. I think that's all incredible stuff. Rare 4chan W. But there's other shit. Like, DDoSing innocent people, just like fucking around with people, like the trolling aspect of hacktivism, which is kind of like the polarity of 4chan. Like, if we look at 4chan throughout its entire history, it's like 50% of its high profile activism has been just fucking with people, hacking people, DDoSing people, sending pizzas to people's houses, doxing people, swatting people. And then actual hacktivism, like putting people to justice for committing crimes. It's a bit of an interesting, like, double-edged sword that it is for society. That part of the internet is for society. And it's the technology that's used for this said justice is also misused. It's kind of a battle between those two groups of people.
Yeah, and also because it's so much more profitable to do like ransomware. Stuff like that, exploit people, DDoS people, make some sort of statement. It's also much more profitable than just, like, taking time out of your own day to make sure that, like, a dog isn't, like, killed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just lack the, moral compass telling them to prioritize a good thing over money.
And I think this is where we get into the difference between activism and vigilante justice. I would describe people on the internet who spend their their free time doing like actual detective work, tracking people down, figuring out where all of this takes place, and then ultimately still calling the police, still allowing law enforcement to handle it. I would still consider that an act of vigilante justice because you're taking the time out of took the actual initiative. And honestly, we should have more people getting paid to do that kind of thing, you know, scan the internet for dark shit. And it's kind of a shame that 4chan is like the sort of really the only vessel we have for this kind of activism.
It's like in some old detective show where like the detective is having a really tough case and it's almost the end of the episode, so he goes to his old informant that like loves fucking with him, and like they banter for a while and he's like, oh, I really don't want to be here, but I know you always have some good information, man.
Exactly.
So I kind of just have to choke it down.
What other examples do we have of like online vigilante justice? Because I know there's a lot. Before we get into the streamers, the IRL streaming shit, obviously.
I mean, obviously there's the people who like pretend to be little girls. Anyways, and like there's also a lot of different dimensions to that, because like some people, you know, report them with evidence to their local police or the predator's workplace. That's good. They're the ones who kind of milk it for, you know, content, kind of indulge the predator to a frankly unacceptable amount, just in the service of making enjoyable content.
Predator catching. Like predator catching purely online is usually the people who just do it online and don't meet them in person have better interests in mind, because the people who meet them in person like want to make content out of it and get that shock value out of it, whereas online there's not a whole lot of entertainment value. It's just a creepy ass chat log with a guy, and then you send it to the police and then he gets arrested. Unfortunately, police don't take that nearly as seriously as they should, and predator catchers, like what we could call, you know, a trend, or dare I say epidemic of people, amateur predator catchers, has had the positive impact of police knowing what to do with a chat log of somebody meeting a decoy, trying to meet a decoy underage girl. And so that spread incredible awareness, and we can talk about the IRL predator catching now. Squeebo, do you want to just explain predator catching real quick?
Yeah, sure. Predator catching is I don't know, I don't have a set definition. I can look it up if
just like, what do they do? What is a predator catcher?
Yeah, so a predator catcher is somebody who, like, as a either pastime or career or anything like that, they go and, you know, seek out predators. Probably the most
sex
well-known...
predators.
Sexual
predators. Mainly child sex predators.
Mainly child. Yeah, exactly. Probably the most known example of this is To Catch a Predator, which is where most modern predator catchers got their, you know, inspiration from. It went down the grapevine. And you even see Chris Hansen coming out of retirement to, you know, stream with these predator catchers. But, you know, you can have a lot of different intentions when going into something like that.
Do you guys remember when Chris Hansen knocked on Onision's door?
Oh, what? Yeah. Yes.
You don't know about this?
No.
Ferris, you know who Chris Hansen is, right?
Yes.
So you know the whole show. And so he was working on a private investigation of Onision, and he literally walked up to his door and knocked on the door at Onision's house, and somehow the internet obtained the 911 call of Onision calling 911 on Chris Hansen, and he's like, Chris Hansen's at my door, and they're like, who's sorry, slow down. He's like, it's Chris fucking Hansen. He's knocking on my door and he won't leave.
Oh my god.
And it was a pretty legendary moment. Onision versus Chris Hansen happened.
Jesus Christ.
They're beefy funny. He took the wrong Chris Hansen
that happened?
to court.
Oh,
yes.
I did. I remember. Okay, I remember some of this. I never heard the 911 call though.
Back to predator
Me
catching.
neither.
So basically there's like a huge trend of people who saw To Catch a Predator back in the day and decided, you know what, we're gonna do this, but in a much more amateur way. We're gonna pretend to be little girls online, lure in these decoys, and then confront them in person. And the correct way to do this is to meet them in person with a camera, record them, get a confession out of them, get them to confess to that, yes, that was me in the chat logs, that was me. And then you call the police afterwards. You do not make the predator say take his clothes off and jump into a lake, you know what I mean, under the threat of reporting him. You do not beat the living shit out of the predator. You don't do any of that stuff, because that makes you that fucks up your investigation, basically. That makes you a criminal now, and their predator's crime is taken much less seriously by law enforcement. And if you're not reporting them to law enforcement and you're just doing this to beat them up, you're a fucking scumbag who's just looking for an excuse to punch somebody. Because that doesn't change anything. They walk free and they're not put to justice. This is where vigilante justice goes wrong, where you're just beating people up and you're not actually having them face justice. And you can say, but Demigloom, the actual justice system isn't going to serve them, right? The actual justice system isn't going to do what is needed. And I hear you, but at the very least, having them taken into police custody, squeezing some jail time out of the situation and getting them registered as a sex offender potentially, is going to accomplish a lot more than them having a fucking black eye. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys agree with me.
Yeah, and, for all the people who hear that and go, oh, Demigloom thinks that beating up pedophiles is wrong. What a horrible thing. One ass whooping isn't justice. Beating someone's ass one time is not justice for them preying on children. Not even close. So it's better to actually inch toward real justice, which would be getting this person on a sex offender registry or sending them to prison, rather than just beating their ass one time and then posting it to the internet and making money off of it.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Felonious Ferris, do you know of any like high profile cases of vigilante justice from the internet?
No.
Squeebo, do you know of any?
Actually, there's one thing that I want to bring up is, so it might be, I don't know how to explain this. It might not be what you're expecting, but I believe that the bomb threats to St. Jude's hospitals incited by libs of TikTok, that is a form of internet vigilante.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yes.
That's not good.
Yeah, we just want to say that real clearly. Do not.
St. Jude's does a lot of good. Don't stress them out. The guy, St. Jude.
Sending bomb threats to children's hospitals as a form of justice.
Yeah. Well,
how is that a form of justice?
It's not. What's funny.
Yeah. Why I bring this up is I believe that the people who send these threats believe they're doing at least a morally correct thing. Like, they are bringing some sort of justice to the evil St. Jude's. Because the conspiracy was that St. Jude's does, like, 1 million mastectomies a month to trans children, when that's just, like, obviously not true. Because libs of TikTok is a stochastic terrorist, and she doesn't care about what she says. She just wants to incite violence against the groups that she does not like. So I believe that, she's convinced people that this is the vigilantism to, let St. Jude know what's coming to them if they keep transing the children.
You make a good point.
Because justice is in the eye of the
justice can be bad, yeah. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not justice.
Well, it's because justice is subjective.
Yeah. So different people believe that justice is something different. Yes. It's not as objective as one might think. And that kind of leads into the problem with vigilante justice as a whole, just as a concept, because you fall into these situations where people are acting outside of the law, outside of the judicial system, on issues where they're just going off of their personal opinion about what justice is, and not taking into consideration what the general consensus is about that given issue is, and what justice would be for that given issue. So, like the case of the people sending bomb threats to St. Jude's, they're acting based on their own personal sense of justice, and then the majority of the rest of us think that what they're doing is abhorrent. So I guess where I'm going with this is the problem with vigilante justice is people are acting to punish people without any consensus from those around them or people in the society that they're living in. Oftentimes, these people do things that are poorly considered, that are coming from a lack of education about a topic, sometimes making the issue worse, or sometimes just doing something that is considered by most people to be a force of, not necessarily evil, but certainly something negative in the world. Yeah. So ideally, these things will be handled by a justice system where everyone in a given society comes to a general consensus about what most of us feel would be justice in certain situations, rather than the feelings of an individual. And that means that we get into less situations where we have this margin of error, where someone ends up doing something terrible and harmful, rather than actually doing something just.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. And I think it's important to recognize that no matter what system of justice we decide is how we're going to go, there will be things that slip through the cracks. There will be things that are mishandled. And there are we do have insane problems with our justice system. Our justice system, I mean, we literally did a whole episode about how our justice system basically is inherently oppressive, and it's not great. But at the same time, what you said about how we can't just let one person's opinion on how things ought to be handled rule the reality of the action that is taking place. That's why I think the best vigilante justice works within the law, like we talked about. Getting law enforcement involved, getting the actual justice system involved, and not just allowing one person to be a judge, jury, and executioner. That's why I think it's much more effective to have somebody actually prosecuted for their crime formally than just taking an ass whooping. Yeah, they walk free at the end of the day after getting their ass kicked, and it doesn't really help, like we said.
It might make the vigilante feel good, but it doesn't do anything to address the actual problem of sexual predators in our society. And that's another problem where oftentimes vigilante justice is kind of masturbatory. It's just seeking self-gratification. You're seeking to stroke your own ego, make yourself feel good. And oftentimes it's not actually about, it's not actually selfless. It's not actually for the benefit of victims. God, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it is selfish, but hold on. It's not actually altruistic. Like, people might want... Well, they might want to believe that they're being altruistic, and they might want other people to believe that they're being altruistic. But in reality, they're really just stroking their own egos.
Mm-hmm. Or making a quick buck, You can do anything on Kick. People love to see it.
Yeah, that's what...
Damn.
Good.
That's what Vitali's up to on Kick right now. Just want to give a shout out to that guy for beating the shit out of pedophiles, committing false imprisonment, false citizens arrest, whatever you want to call that, and beating the shit out of pedophiles and not getting them prosecuted or persecuted in any meaningful way. It's really bad. Don't do that. Get them actually locked up. Get them arrested. That's also, and when you botch the investigation, the police don't take it seriously. And the police it fucks with the crime. Like, if you commit entrapment or false imprisonment, then the person can walk away scot-free, basically. That's what happened in the EDP 445 case. The reason why he's not in jail is because a bunch of predator catchers, or two predator catchers, Alex Rosen and CC Unit, both are very anti-Semitic for some reason. That's another thing. The predator catching community, while I admire what some of them do accomplish when actually getting people locked up and put on sex offender registries, it's like the whole, like, I don't know, it's like the whole, like, the only cure for pedophilia is a bullet kind of crowd. There's like super toxic masculinity of people who are just looking for a lot of bloodshed, unnecessarily bloodshed, and I think it's really bad. I think it's there's an insane amount of racism in the community. That's why a lot of the channels are banned. is for hate speech. Contrary, a lot of people are like, YouTube is pro pedophile. They don't let us catch predators, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's them like dropping the N word or saying something about Jews. It's like a very far right community,
and
which
yeah, when you talk to these people, I mean, I haven't talked to predator catchers, but I've talked to the kind of like conservative man, the only cure for pedophilia is a bullet to the head kind of guy. And when you actually talk to them, they know very little about things that actually help victims of childhood sexual assault, that actually bring perpetrators to justice, and that actually reduce the rates of childhood sexual abuse as a whole. Oftentimes they don't even know the basics of that stuff. And I'm forced to conclude that it's because they don't care. They don't actually care. They want to look like a big tough guy. They want a free pass, or not even really a free pass, but they want to be cheered on for beating the shit out of someone. And they want to feel really, really good about themselves for doing it. They want to feel really noble and righteous. It is not actually about helping victims of childhood sexual assault. It's not about preventing future cases of childhood sexual assault. And it's not actually about bringing perpetrators to justice.
I think that brings us to another fundamental flaw with a lot of vigilante justice. It's that systemically addressing things is much more important than bringing justice to... You know what I mean? Putting effort into bringing, like for example, Batman. Batman spends his entire time, in the words of Malcolm X, okay, you must address the root of conditions. You cannot address conditions. Conditions will reappear. They'll respawn. You gotta fucking address...
You gotta boil the pasta before you put it. That's what Alfred used to say.
Look.
In The Brave and the Bold. That's what he said.
Look.
Fake.
Look, you gotta... You have to address the root of conditions, because roots, when you pull a weed without pulling it by the root, it just continues to grow back. When you send criminals to jail, say you lock up, say there's a particularly problematic, housing unit, right? There's a bunch of fucking crack getting slanging around, people getting shot and drive-by shootings, right? In this one fucking apartment complex. You lock up everybody who commits a crime there, right? They all go to jail. You didn't actually address the systemic issue, which is probably... Spoiler alert, it's always poverty. That's like the root of most almost all violent crime, actually, is poverty. And you're not addressing the actual poverty that's leading people to this desperation, getting people into addiction, getting people into these cycles, creating the demand for the drugs, creating the demand for the weapons, need for protection, in a never-ending cycle. You refuse to address that condition, then things are just going to be the same. And this is why Batman and people who look up to Batman are fundamentally flawed, is because they don't believe in addressing the root of the condition. They just believe in addressing the condition itself with a good old knuckle sandwich. And by doing that, you're only making the problem worse. And you're not... And I'm sorry, I worded this all very horribly. I hope you guys could understand what my point is.
Yeah.
Ferris, was I coherent?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Why,
what I'm
are you
saying.
concerned?
Yes. Okay. Ferris, can you say okay for us?
Okay.
No. You're doing like, all right, okay. You got to be like, okay. Like, very awkward.
Okay.
There we go. Now, editor, take that clip and just say, like, genocide. And then, what do you think of genocide? And then they're like, okay. Describe genocide in one word. Okay. I think we talked about the most of the serious vigilante stuff, unless anyone has anything specific on their mind.
I don't know what we could talk about with this, but there are those two very significant moments when a parent kills their child's abuser, like in front of police or in a courtroom. That would be...
Cool.
Hang on, sorry.
Don't worry, silences get cut out.
Alright, so the two that I'm referring to here that come to mind for me are Ellie Nesler, who shot the man who sexually abused her son in the courtroom. So she came into the courtroom, sat down, and then I don't know, stood up, pulled out a gun, and shot the guy. She fired 5 shots into the guy's head, killing him. And then the other one I'm talking about is Gary Plausch. He had a similar case where a man had molested his son and kidnapped him. And I don't remember if he was being transported to jail or if he was being transported to court. But basically 2 police guards were walking him down an airport or something, and this was all on news on the TV, like something for the news was being recorded as they were walking by, and then there's a man at the payphone, and as soon as they walk past, he turns around, pulls out a gun, and shoots his son's sister. So these were both obviously incredibly personal attacks, very like kind of a rejection of the justice system that like I know in my heart what he deserves, and I don't believe that you guys are gonna give it.
There's also Clark Fredericks. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Mm-mm.
He's a man who I saw him on a Soft White Underbelly interview. And this is a man who, I believe it was a former police officer, sexually abused him when he was a very young child. And as a grown man, he was talking about it with basically just venting about it to one of his friends and crying. And then they were like, dude, let's go kill him. And then he went and then just murdered him. And apparently the people at the police station, when they talked to him, were like, dude, we're going to be real. We knew about this guy and we just didn't have the evidence. Thank you for doing this. And then basically the judge sentenced him to, I don't remember how long in prison, but to like the minimum prison sentence for the crime, and was like, I'm sorry that I have to send you behind bars for even a day. And basically, now he's a motivational speaker and is very well respected. And pretty much it's universally agreed that what he did was justified. Which is very interesting because it's one of the only cases of cold-blooded murder that I can find that pretty much everyone who hears about it is like, yeah, the guy just deserved it. What do we?
But not
I would
Hitler?
like to.
Okay.
I would like to throw out there that Soft White Underbelly is super exploitative, and the person behind it is a terrible person.
Yes, I agree with that.
Soft White
Underbelly gets under my belly. It gets under my skin because they'll interview like a 12-year-old prostitute or like somebody who's like, you know, going through some horrible addiction, can't afford rehab, and then he just like lets them go. It's like, all right, bye.
Yeah, and Soft White Underbelly is making more than enough money to change these people's lives. And when asked why he doesn't, like why he didn't rescue the child prostitute, he essentially said that it was because if he rescued her, then he wouldn't be able to make content out of her anymore. Just beyond abhorrent, just disgusting.
Yeah, it sucks because there are a lot of interesting people that go on there, and nobody else seems to be willing to interview take on certain cases in that. But yeah, it's very unfortunate that like the only platform we have for that is a horrible guy. But like this, what do we have to say about these people, like this motivational speaker I mentioned and the 2 parents that Squeebo mentioned? Like people who just
are we allowed to say on YouTube?
Figure out a creative way if you're going to break the... Okay, here's the question. I need just a yes or no question. Does that make us sad that happens?
Not particularly.
Yeah, doesn't make me too sad. We don't need to talk about whether or not it's okay, because obviously murder is always bad. There's not a single situation that could possibly justify murder.
Oh, true.
So we don't have to get into whether or not, you know, we don't have to state the obvious here, but it doesn't make us very sad sometimes when that happens.
No. Not really.
Yeah, not that sad. Certainly no sympathy for those abusers just because they died. It doesn't make me feel bad for them. We all die. Suck it up. Yeah, I don't know. This is very awkward. There's the fun part. Are we ready for the fun part? Shut up. Are we ready for the fun part?
Yay!
Ferris.
So true. Yes.
Ferris.
Yes.
You ready for the fun part? Okay.
I love the fun part.
Vigilantes in fiction. Who are the coolest vigilantes in fiction? I'll go first. Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man a lot. He's a good guy.
I thought you were gonna say
No, Rorschach's a fascist scumbag.
What are we talking about? Morally righteous vigilantes, or are we talking about cool vigilantes?
We're talking about morally righteous vigilantes.
Oh, then yeah, Spider-Man is probably the guy.
I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna say I like Deadpool because I like Deadpool. Deadpool
murders people in cold blood, which we just agreed was bad.
You know what? I'm breaking the rules. This isn't about morally justifiable vigilantes. I like Deadpool's comic books. I like his comic books. I've been a big fan ever since I was like 11. And
I do too.
I like Deadpool. I like his comic books.
I also like the movies. They're pretty good.
The movies are fine.
The first movie's great.
The comic books are fantastic.
Yeah. I like Deadpool Samurai, the manga, even though I've only read like 2 volumes. It was really fun, and there's like a symbiote girl who's like a Japanese idol girl. And you get to see hot manga Captain America, and it's really funny. I'm telling you guys, look up Captain America Deadpool Samurai. It's really funny.
Look up Fujimoto Captain America. He has an amazing design for Captain America Devil. Yeah.
No,
you haven't seen it? Oh, it's so cool.
All right, I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Send me.
But I take no credit for this whatsoever, but I do see a lot of people, like, looking into the deeper meaning of the portrait, I guess you could call it a portrait, of the illustration. How, like, the shield, like, literally just covers the guy's eyes, like, basically dripping with blood. And I've seen some people suggest that, like, oh, this is, like, a commentary on how America is a empire drenched in blood, blinded by self-proclaimed justice. Interesting stuff.
The Japanese would certainly be the ones to comment on that.
Oh, come on. I mean, like, some of them have earned their right. Like Kojima, I'm sure Kojima isn't too fond of Japan's history either.
Been unpleasantly surprised too many times.
Ferris just hates all Japanese people, and if you're from Japan, Ferris will judge you.
Yeah.
Like if you're an immigrant from Japan, Ferris will judge you for your background.
True. So true. This is so correct.
This is completely unrelated, but Ferris, have you read or watched Look Back?
No.
I asked them, and I told them we should watch it together.
Yeah, so me and Demi watched it. It was wonderful. However, Demi doesn't agree with me that it is coded to be a romance.
I don't think it's I think it's beautiful friendship. It reminded me of my friendship with both of you guys. It reminded me like of just pure like beautiful shameless friendship. There was nothing inherently romantic. There was some like dramatic hand holding, I guess. Other than that, I don't see anything inherently romantic about the story.
I think explained yourself very well. So I think it could go either way, and I know how.
No, I think it could be romance too. I just don't think it necessarily is.
I think either way you read it, it portrays a beautiful message.
Absolutely. It's Ferris. I'm telling you, this is like one of the great anime films.
Okay.
We gotta watch it. Watch it.
I'm down.
Vigilantes in fiction that we really like. So I wanted to talk about our favorites afterward. But Ferris, do you have any that you think are like particularly morally like good? Because like I think that our romanticization of vigilante justice through comic books and superhero movies like is bad. Like I think it's bad that kids look up to Batman. I think Batman is handled as a more morally complex character now, but like generally speaking, I think that's bad. Do you think of any vigilante? Do you think there are vigilante characters who are like good role models? Besides Spider-Man. Oh, dude, we just love Spider-Man. We stand Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Peter Parker, Miles Morales.
So true.
What are the other Spider-Man?
Hot Latino guy.
Miguel.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Punk is way hotter than Miguel.
Well.
Wait, do you disagree?
I think...
I'm a big fan of the big muscles.
Oh, you fucking...
One interesting example is Captain America, because during the Civil War arc... Okay, listen to me. I don't know shit about comics. I don't read enough comics. Maybe in the future. This is all, like, information that's probably wrong packed into the back of my mind from an Alex Lennon video. By the way, go check out Alex Lennon. He makes some very good comic book videos.
I'm just not fond of that whole family.
Yeah, I know. I know, dummy.
Ferris, you should have laughed at that.
I didn't get it.
Wait.
They mentioned someone whose last name is Lennon.
Joke?
Oh.
Okay.
I was just I'm not
fair,
into
I
that
didn't
family.
get the joke either. I thought you were talking about, like, how you don't like it when Jason talks about comic
that's not the joke at all.
Okay, alright, I misconceived. I think it was interesting when Captain America went into a vigilante arc because he disagreed with the handling of the interdimensional prison and how criminals were treated in there. That could all be completely incorrect, but that's what I gathered.
Cool.
Something that we do need to talk about is the Punisher.
Bad guy.
Bad.
Well, yeah, the bad. At
least in the comics, he's really bad. In the Punisher show, he's also really... I haven't watched the show. I've watched, like, episode 1 of the show, and he seems badass.
Yeah, same. Well, he seems badass, but I don't know. I haven't watched the show, so I won't about it. I really want to know what intrigue... Well, actually, I think there is a pretty clear answer to why the public is so interested and idealize the Punisher. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know a lot about the Punisher. Just see, like, badass, big muscle man with a sleek black outfit with a cool-ass mask, or cool-ass skull. I get that's probably a large portion of it. But, like, what about his hyper-brutal, like he could fit right into The Boys with just how cartoonishly brutal he is, where he commits so much violence just based on pure emotion and hatred, where you just beat someone's face into a bloody pulp while you yell at them and curse at them. It does appeal to a lot of people, which, might be a little bit concerning.
Yeah. I'll be right back. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, pretty bad. No, I'm fucking...
Is it really?
We're doing...
Okay. Is this how it usually goes? Where there's a long gap in silence?
Yes. That's how most podcasts go.
I
try to cut out all my
I can only gather that every time I'm in an episode, it just goes like shit, because I've never been both not in an episode and in an episode
This is true.
At the same time.
Very insightful. Sorry, I probably sound like I'm being, like, too mean, like, mean to Squeebo is the bit.
Not at all.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
just kidding.
I know.
Because, like, a lot of the audience probably doesn't... A lot of the audience doesn't know our relationship at all. They don't realize that we're, like, best friends, and we bitch at each other all the time, and are just mean to each other because it's funny. So I'm not bullying my little friend here.
Oh, is this going on the podcast? Oh, okay. Fuck, I didn't realize that all of this was probably... Okay. We roll with it.
Also, I was fucking with you when I said that all the bad takes for the intro were going in. Okay.
Yeah, I assume. I don't think you would make your audience suffer just to embarrass me.
I would. No,
I could see
actually.
it. By the way, if you come over Saturday, do you want to try recording a Let's Play? I want to see if I can get a space figure.
You want me to bring my mic?
Coat.
I could try.
Yes, that would be... I just wanted
just a test recording
or whatever. Yeah,
okay,
basically.
Sure. Yeah, I'll come over and do that. I'll do that if I come up. Back to Vigilante, just do you want to shout out any superheroes? Because it's fun.
I'd probably have more to say about... See, it's me, Squeebo, so I gotta insert anime and manga into everything, okay? I love Japan!
I can bring up Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man?
No,
don't
talk about Chainsaw Man.
Okay, well, very quickly. I don't know if you could call Denji a vigilante, because he works to secure the safety of the public as a rogue actor, not as a government. That's all I really have to say about vigilantism, Chainsaw Man, to be fair.
Well, Makima really works for the government, right? So he's not... I don't think he'd be a vigilante then, because he is working directly for the government.
Well, I guess you haven't... Okay.
Never mind,
I guess that's a spoiler. I'm talking about a part in the story in which he's not working.
Hey now, say now. Oh, Kendrick won, by the way, just for the the people, because we don't talk about that. Kendrick won again. Massive W.
Yeah. There's something vigilantism. I feel like there's sword, but that's not vigilantism.
Luffy's kind of a vigilante.
Yeah, you could say that, cause like he works outside. Cause obviously the Marines aren't doing shit. They're if anything, they're just enabling criminal behavior. Which,
it's in a very... One Piece seems seemingly, at least the East Blue, which I'm on, seems to be very, like,
no, you're
anarchist.
into the Grand
Line. Oh, yeah,
Line.
I'm into the Grand Line now. But, like, the whole East Blue, like, seems very anarchic. Like, there's not a whole lot of, like, massive government. Like, it seems like more places are occupied by, like, a singular, independent, very, like, communal. Why did I say communal? Very, individual with the government. Very local government, small government.
Yeah. Well, the One Piece world is, like, 8 times larger than ours. And, obviously, it's not like Oda can't just put in more. Nah.
Decentralized government was the word I was looking for. Like, you know, there's, like, Arlong, who doesn't adhere to anyone but himself, but controls, like, an entire island, and there are Marines, and, you know, technically there are rules against what he's doing, but it's, like, still a lot of either ungoverned or governed by small, like, isolated dictators.
You know who's a vigilante? Kira, Light from Death Note.
Yeah. I guess Light Yagami is a vigilante. He killed Sam Hyde, but the news was reporting wrong. Do you remember this bit? You remember? I won't explain the bit. So there's this bit on this podcast where we were like, if in episode 1 of Death Note, or chapter 1 of Death Note.
Oh wait, no, I don't remember that. Whoopsies.
So if in chapter 1 of Death Note, you know how it's a trend to falsely report Sam Hyde as an active shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a very popular,
that's what I thought
very popular internet meme where people would report Sam Hyde as an active shooter. So in the active shooter, they'd be like, the suspect has been identified as Sam Hyde, who's just an alt-right comedian, if you didn't know him.
Yeah.
It'd be like, and it's like a meme where like it's a meme that he commits like every mass shooting because he's falsely reported as the mass shooter every time. And the joke was, if in chapter 1 of Death Note, when he's watching the TV and sees an active shooting, if they falsely reported him as Sam Hyde, then all of Death Note would have been prevented because he wouldn't believe the Death Note worked. Because remember, that's how he realized that the Death Note actually worked, because he saw an active shooter on TV and he was like, let's just write his name down. And then it was like, oh, he suddenly collapsed and died of a heart attack. If it was falsely reported as Sam Hyde, and they're like, the shooter has been identified as Sam Hyde, or however you would say it in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. How would you pronounce Sam Hyde in Japanese?
Using a Japanese accent or in the Japanese language? In the Japanese,
well, there's like Japanese pronunciations.
Sam Hyde, that's how you say it. Because Sam and Hyde aren't words.
No, there's a proper way to like read. Hold on. Let me put it in Google Translate.
Yeah, but that's talking with a Japanese accent using.
Well, the Japanese accent is part of the language. Like the pronunciation, well, okay, it's like there's an official pronunciation. Like you can take the like for example how like Gojira, right? If you're saying Gojira in an American accent, you're technically saying the Japanese pronunciation of the word instead of Godzilla.
I guess? Anyways, when Ferris gets back, I want to bring up Hellsing Ultimate if they're up to it, because I don't know. I just know they like Hellsing. A funny thing to mention as a vigilante. I don't think we'll get any real discussion out of it.
What's something really funny? Should you just skip it? Save it for the anime episode. If you want.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You can bring it up. I don't care. We got the serious stuff out of the way, so all the people who are only listening to the topic part have already left, so I don't care. We can be funny. Or off topic.
Hello.
Did you see? Okay, my teacher put on a booklet today that was like a meme culture, and all of them were like, who is this? And it shows like a picture of Pepe, or a picture of Nyan Cat, or a picture of Shrek, and you just have to say who it is. And then one of the questions was, who is the goat? The picture was of Gideon, and one of the answers was, or the correct answer that I chose, DeMarcus.
Which is pretty funny if you're a Gideon fan such as myself.
You were not.
I haven't watched his more recent, all of his predator catching videos. I'm told that some of them are bad, and he worked with Alex Rosen recently, who I might have no respect for. But before all of that, I've been a pretty big Gideon fan historically.
Who's Alex?
Predator Poachers. He caught EDP. He's the ginger guy who caught EDP. Yep. So yeah, that happened. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself in this situation. Well, it all started when I picked 2 really bad co-hosts for this podcast.
So true.
And they didn't have any response to anything I had to say.
I'm sleepy.
All right, are we about ready to wrap this up?
I'm ready for comments.
Comments, yep. Yeah. That's what I meant, definitely. I definitely didn't forget about comments. I'm definitely not sighing, taking a fat hit of my joint. All right, so we have two episodes to read comment. From the episode, What Even Is Wokeness, featuring Mr. Beat. Grill Krill says, I love Mr. Beat. Oh my god, I always thought words like DEI and woke were just words for progressiveness. It's odd how the right can change words' meanings over time. I don't understand how you could support a party who doesn't understand the meaning of words. Recognizing and addressing one's own prejudices is important. It's unfortunate how some won't look into themselves and understand any of that. The right says they support family and community, but is hypocritical with their actions and everything they say. You all brought up so many good points. Oh my god, that went well. I'm half awake and I like to talk. Thank you, Grill Krill, for the comment.
We love you.
We love you. I think... Go on.
Oh,
no, I was going to read the next comment, so go on.
Oh, I think they made a really good point in the first bit about how, the GOP can shift meaning of words. And now, after the big push against DEI and woke, they're just getting rid of it from everywhere,
Same thing with critical race theory.
Yeah, and it's really sad because that was progress. That was good. I'm so glad I didn't turn out like all of these people that throw around these terms. Like when I was, 9, I saw a PragerU video about affirmative action, and I got pretty close to, falling into the pit.
Goddamn.
But,
But you looked at the prejudices you had within you.
My dad just played damn.
True. So true.
I'm woke now.
I am bad at names. 2876 says, "Come on, so little views for a Mr. Beat appearance." True. Our video got about 550 views. We deserve more than that. But at the same time, that is more viewers than well over double what we normally get on our podcast. So thank you for listening to that episode. And if you listened to that episode and stuck around for this episode, we double thank you because that's amazing. Murdoch3396 says, I would say it's definitely not going to fizzle out. Not really a comparison with rock and roll or Dungeons and Dragons, because rock and roll doesn't want my son to hack his dick off and pretend to be a girl, and Dungeons and Dragons wasn't introducing Bolshevism into the schools.
Well, people thought it was.
Yeah. Exactly. People thought it was, and it's not. Just like right now. It's
quite ironic that you're saying these things when you yourself are regurgitating things that aren't true. Just the exact same way that Christian moms were in the 80s saying that Dungeons and Dragons is going to summon demons.
Sonic the Centipede says, I can't believe you had Mr. Beat on after all the allegations.
What?
Mr. Beat is the sweetest boy. He has no allegation. And I'm talking about Mr. Beat here. He is such a pleasant man. I've never interacted with him, but all of the people who I know who have interacted with him are very, very positive about him.
Have you watched any Mr. Beat videos? Either of you?
No.
Yeah, of course.
His videos are incredible. He's
Really
he's literally,
good.
I'm sure you got this impression from the episode. He's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
He's just like, the sweetest.
True.
He's a almost perfect human being. He's one of my favorite political commentators, who, not really a political commentator. He does like history, but he still does politics. He's one of my favorite like political figures online.
Oh, he's like the president guy. I'd say that's
this is true.
The point is, he's got a wide array of knowledge to share with you, and it is incredibly valuable. So I say go.
Absolutely. So Sonic the Centipede says, I can't believe you had Mr. Beat on after all the accusations. See, the joke is that it's Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beat. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, this episode was insane, and the topic was even funnier than pro shippers. Keep up the grr with the R highlighted and A-T with the highlighted. The great with the R and T highlighted work. T-T? What does T-T mean? Or R-T?
You gotta sound like a screenshot or something. I'm not...
Retweet. Also said, Mr. Sanders is grateful. The show's awesome, which is MSGSA.
Wow.
Aww, that's
Selstray
sweet.
says, wokeness is simply a word used to describe politically far left or extreme left views that may seem like a positive and progressive thing to believe in to be true, when in reality those views are irrational and detrimental and unnatural, much to the denial or ignorance of the person who believes in them. So that's about a third of the comment, and we're already...
Hang on, let me respond. to that. If that's the definition of woke, is that, like, something that, you know, the woke people think is good, but it's actually really, really bad, and it makes everybody really sad and mad, then why do we call ourselves woke? Why, like, at least, I mean, not now, anyways, because you guys shifted the definition. We've always had a different definition. That's the split.
I mean, this is basically not saying much more than wokeness just means bad, just means wrong. Yeah. They also say the conceptual idea behind wokeness is actually very fundamentally simple. It's just extreme politically leftist views that is negative in nature. That's all. The ambiguity to its meaning is simply the result of the conflicting opinions people had on what is actually woke or what is not woke. Nope, not true. And that all depends on the person and their own subjective viewpoint on political topics in reality as a whole. Now, what really matters and what it all depends on is what political topics or worldview points is accurately judged and determined to be woke or not. Is that word being used mostly true or mostly false? Who knows? That's something people are going to argue about. I just hope the politics doesn't erupt into intense conflict suddenly and it gets resolved peacefully over time and we can come to understand each other better. That's all I wish to see for everybody involved. I mean, I think this person...
I'm Tim Pool's secret little guy. I gotta start the Civil War.
I think this person has good intentions. They seem like a nice person, but like, my friend, you're basically just saying wokeness means that it's things that... These are what you perceive woke things to be. This is your opinion on woke things.
Admittedly, yeah.
You're admitting that this is just your opinion, and you're using your opinion as a definition is not very...
It just admitting that it's totally subjective and has no actual meaning when you get down to it.
Yeah. Camu Crimson says, OMG, Mr. Breast. I panicked about voting early for a second, then realized I am 17 and cannot vote. So true.
That's awesome. Do it anyways. You are why we lost the election. You should have voted anyways.
You should have voted anyways.
You're personally responsible for fascism taking hold of America.
You guys know that 0% of people between the ages of 16 and 17 voted for Joe Biden?
That's crazy.
Not a single one. Sawyer says Mr. Beast for the win. Digging the stars background, but farm animals have my heart. True. Thank you for complimenting our background. You'll get the farm animals someday, okay? The farm animals
Sawyer
will come back.
really likes farm animals.
Sawyer loves the farm animals.
Honestly, I can't fault him for that.
If you know what I mean.
Demi, don't insult our biggest fan.
That was a joke about autism, not bestiality, by the way, for the if there's any ambiguity.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
Autistic people love, like, a lot of autistic kids, like, love farm animals, right? Like, I know there's the ones who are, like, into dinosaurs specifically.
A lot of autistic kids are into, and autistic adults are into just any specific topic. They're really into it.
But like there are common
farm animal,
they're like common and
children.
stereotypical. They're like common and stereotypical autistic interests though, right? Like warrior cats and Minecraft and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Horses for sure.
Horses?
Yeah. Horses.
Wait, is the epidemic of horse, or not the epidemic, but the number, the trend of horse girls just missed undiagnosed autism?
Yes.
Damn.
Or diagnosed. You don't know.
I guess
in my experience, yes.
Okay, Jordan Thompson 8268 says, "I don't agree with your perspective at all, which is funny for several reasons."
Demi, when someone disagrees, don't do the dumb Neanderthal voice.
Look, I don't think you guys understand. I don't think you guys understand that stupid voice that I'm doing. That's them because they're stupid. No. People who disagree with me are stupid. I don't agree with your perspective at all, which is funny for several reasons. But holy shit, at least evolve these talking points beyond the year 2017 or something. I don't know what to say to that. Our talking points are very 2017. Okay. They say more. It's cool that you responded to my comments from the other video, but the problems there are that I'm not a Republican. I'm calling Trump Big Daddy T as a joke. ALA, Big Daddy Kane, and Trump never directed his supporters or police to act violently, and you presented nothing more than your emotions as evidence. This still makes the comparison to Hitler as ridiculous as can be. You need to actually present something of substance, otherwise it's easily dismissed. So this is them talking about you, Trump calling for Kristallnacht, which you talked about. I sat through the entire hour of this podcast that still virtually disagree with you on everything because everything you mentioned is without substance. Trump didn't sanction state violence. Kristallnacht specifically refers to a program against Jews that was carried out by the Nazi parties. Sturmabteilung and Schutzstaffel primary forces, just Nazi military forces.
Oh, the SS.
No, I said Schutzstaffel.
Schutzstaffel,
perfectly fine. I'm talking about the Sturmabteilung. Sturmabteilung. Paramilitary forces aided by some sympathetic German citizens in the Hitler Youth. Trump called for no such pogroms. You're just trying desperately to conflate Trump with Hitler. So a lot for you to respond there.
Can you send me a picture of this?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Does this commenter know what implications are? Because it surely seems that they do not. You know that you can imply something without explicitly saying it, right? Right?
And if we speak the same language, it can be literally interpreted as to what they were implying. It's not always a subjective analysis.
Yeah, and also, I'm not saying... do you think that Trump would have to say, let's go do a pogrom in order for it to be a Kristallnacht? Would that be what you'd need? Because, I mean, okay, I want to sit down with this person and talk about
really?
I want to talk with them about what they think these things are, and I want to figure out if they truly believe that you need to explicitly state something in order, that essentially an implication doesn't exist, or that it can't be considered. I'm not sure what else to get from what this person is saying. Yeah. I mean, Christ, people.
Neon Relethatep says, there was no way you got fucking Mr. Beat. We did. We pulled it off.
We did, in fact.
UPGAX says, oh my god, I just found you guys. It's really cool to see small creators on my... Thank you.
Wow. We love you.
We're proud to be on your feed. Jonathan5075 says, Mr. Beat is such a bro. Great discussion, folks. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you.
Console says, coming here from Mr. Beat's fan base. Very cool episode. Thank you very much.
Love.
My hates jazz. This reminds me of that old sitcom. What was it? Two Guys and a Girl? Damn,
well,
you got us.
Aw, shucks. Guess I have to go have a public meltdown.
I am Mr. Beat.
No, guys. This guy is like Kathy. He just thinks that non-binary people are confused.
But he also misgendered Demi.
Yeah.
No, Mikey
That's
and
okay.
Mr. Beat were the men, and the Demi was the...
Oh, okay, okay. Secret, like, weird woke. Love it.
Accidental ally.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Beat. Says, thanks for having me on as a guest. You're very welcome. I feel weird saying you're welcome to Mr. Beat. Thank you for letting us have you.
We love you, Mr.
It was
Beat.
Incredible.
And
what
just for the record, I was the one to suggest this Demigloom.
Oh, this is true. They're the one who suggested.
Yay!
They were like, I was like, what YouTubers do I know that I could invite on? They're like, you could invite Mr. Beat. And I was like, oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You were like, oh, he's so popular though. I doubt he would come on. And then he came on. It's really wonderful to see a guy like him, interact with smaller channels and, have a really productive conversation.
I forgot what I was going to say.
What?
Okay. On the autism episode, Sawyer says, I want the barn animals back. I like and admire you two's power level. Mo is crying. Mo is crying. Stop talking about Mo. Dang, I'm definitely autistic. I don't use social media and never go to a doctor other than when I have the flu or a yearly checkup, so this is all new for me. I'm autistic and depressed for sure. What do? I scored a 147.
Well, we told you exactly what to do. What do is if you don't have the money to go to get if you don't have the money to go get diagnosed, you can look stuff up online about things that you can do to help yourself. You can be less judgmental towards yourself. You can join online communities for autistic people and see what they have to say about how they live good lives. Yeah. Otherwise, go get diagnosed.
Yeah. To be clear, when we say go get diagnosed, we mean go get tested. We're not saying go in.
Don't
with
hold
the
them at gunpoint and say, Felonious Ferris told me I had to get diagnosed.
Yep. Don't go in there expecting a diagnosis. Go there expecting the truth.
To learn something about it.
And a reminder that just because you don't have, turns out you don't meet the diagnostic condition, that doesn't mean that your symptoms are invalid. It doesn't mean that you're not going through what you're going through. And whether or not you have a diagnosis to explain away something you're engaging in, or a symptom that you have, doesn't mean that it's not real and it doesn't affect your life in the same way.
Yeah.
It's just that you might not have the same cause for the symptoms, but they're still the symptoms.
Mm-hmm. And if you're an autistic adult, but you're really quite sure, and you go in for the testing where they do all the fuck shit for 6 hours and they say that you don't have autism, you can ask for a second opinion and go to them, and it'll be a different testing format. That's what happened to me, and I ended up getting diagnosed the second time. So
a lot more false negatives than false positives.
Yeah,
you got to be sure. You don't want to get sued for falsely diagnosing. Put it in the
path. See, the thing is, a lot of people get wrong diagnoses all the time on purpose because diagnoses are like one of the primary reasons for diagnoses in the current medical field, or I guess whatever, is just so they can prescribe you a med that they think is helpful. And insurance has a better chance of covering it if they are notified that you are diagnosed with the primary condition the drug is treating. Sorry, was that rambling? Okay,
we do that too. Everyone does it. Sonic the Centipede says, I'm gonna be so for real. I was not expecting this to be the topic for November 15th MSGSA Lamau.
As in 10 days since the election.
I guess we just didn't. First of all, I'm not exactly in the active coping stage with the news of the election, so I didn't feel any right to tell people how they should respond to the election. I'm kind of processing this with you guys, and also we really just wanted to be fun and positive.
Yeah,
that's how we'll survive. It's nice to hear someone who isn't so utterly doomer give their perspective, though. Shout out Ferris for being a beacon of guiding light in these dark times, as always. Anyways, fuck the USA and fuck everyone in it. Fuck Republicans, aka Nazis. Fuck libtards. Fuck centrists. Fuck apolitical people. And fuck anyone outside of the 10 people in this shithole country that I have an iota of respect for. Well, we live in a hopeless dystopia that was beyond saving years ago. No reaching across the aisle. No more trying to change the minds of literal Nazis. My tolerance for this shit is gone. This is fucking war. MSGSA. Megalomaniacal, sociopathic gremlins saved America.
Well,
still reach across the aisle. Just because, no matter how extreme the situation is, our tactics and principles remain the same. MSGSA does not change their endorsement of the reaching across the aisle perspective or idea.
True.
And Sonic, I hope or I guess I should call you Sonic I hope one of those 10 people you have even an iota of respect for in this goddamn country, I hope one of those people is Kamala Harris, because she deserves a lot of respect for how brave she was to go up against that big, bad, mean, orange small hand man. We need to let her know that she's in our hearts and we love her.
Also, you forgot comments again. Wah. We didn't do comments because I was way too tired. I was really EP that night. I'm really sorry. We're reading them now. Mm-hmm. Woohoo! 170. BG3 addict. What is BG3?
Don't know. Hopefully not anything. Baldur's Gate 3. That's what it is.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 addict says, woohoo, 171. I have 3 siblings who are getting / have an official diagnosis, so I feel comfortable not needing one. That is mostly out of fear. My government could use that as an excuse to one day cut my access to hormone replacement therapy, though. That's actually a very valid concern.
That's quite valid, actually, unfortunately.
Like, if you're a paranoid schizophrenic, you should never get diagnosed because then they won't let you buy a gun.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, that was
I think we're kind of straying away from the point.
We're straying away from the terms of service as well.
God, my mind has been so full of so many different things lately that I've kind of forgotten. I recall seeing something about Trump's term allowing for insurance companies to discriminate against people with certain illnesses, or making it a lot more expensive for people with certain illnesses. So that's fun. Maybe don't be ill, idiot.
I don't think insurance companies have a right to persecute men the way they have been. Fucking charging men more for car insurance. That's bullshit. That's sexism. It's wrong.
Is that real?
Yeah,
it is real.
Oh, spoiler alert, it's because men get into far more deadly accidents. Women get into more... Hold on.
What if insurance companies...
Women get into more fender benders, but men tend to wrap their cars around utility poles a bit more.
So does that make men or women the better drivers, is the question?
I'd say women. Less people are dying.
Yeah.
I would say...
Yeah, but more people are being late to work because her fender bender has caused massive pileup in traffic. True. But then the guy, he just dies instantly. Nobody grieves after that.
Exactly.
They don't even know if it's him. They can't recognize him.
Can we take into consideration that the male car crashes are much more fun?
So true.
This is also true.
Do you think insurance should charge men more? Do you think that should be allowed?
I think that's reasonable, to be honest.
Now, what if they were like, despite making up 13% of the population, like what if they pulled that? Would that be okay?
Obviously not.
So why is it okay to discriminate against men?
Because men bad, Demigloom, that's why. Because I hate men. I'm a misandrist. That's why.
I go back and forth between misandry and misogyny depending on who's annoying me the most.
Too.
I think that's part of being non-binary.
Yeah.
I think that's a universal non-binary trait. Man, y'all don't give women enough shit. Let's be real. Like, not the right kind of shit. Like, there's misogyny, and then there's just realizing that women kind of suck, just like men do.
I think I give women the perfect amount of shit. I think I just don't talk about it publicly as much.
I think women are just mean to trans women. That's my hot take. I'm
And men are violent towards trans women.
Yeah, men are violent towards trans women.
And I think that women are mean to me, so I don't like them.
This is true.
Yeah, women can get
pregnant, Squeebo.
More...
It's 2024.
Women can pass off a lot more hate and insults than men can, because with men it escalates. And then with women, it's just kind of petty. Like,
I love fucking with cis allies, though, like saying shit that like they would be uncomfortable correcting me on. Like one time, with my when I was dating this girl, she's like a really hashtag ally kind of girl, if you know what I'm saying. And she and her friends I was like, I am not going back to class until I have safe and affordable access to an abortion in this country. Right after Roe v. Wade was overturned. And they were all like extremely uncomfortable, telling me like, but you can't get pregnant. So they just sat there. So they just stared at me awkwardly for like 10 seconds. Okay. Squeebo, should okay be in our official friendship soundboard, or is it be getting overplayed?
Listen, I'm into it. I just can't replicate it reliably enough yet for me to be completely over the idea.
Okay.
Because like Buddha, I can nail it down quickly. Roll that R, bitch. Okay. Like, I don't know how it
no, you're going,
off.
Okay. As in, no. You're supposed to say, no. You get that? Okay. Yes! You're going, okay. You're going lower. You gotta go, okay. You're going, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, that's good. Okay, all right. Yeah, I can dig that. I can. Any more?
You can't do it. You can't do it, bro.
More comments.
I think that was it.
Wow! Holy moly!
Let me see if there's any we didn't read on the we need to vote. Oh, actually, let me check out the YouTube Shorts.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. Ferris knows what's coming.
What do you mean you know what's coming?
I don't think it'll actually be that bad.
You just think the YouTube short
Ferris
comments
is
will
just
be bad?
making an inference about the audience of YouTube
Well,
Shorts.
there are people browsing like hashtag politics on YouTube Shorts, which is a little better than just doom scrolling.
Okay.
Okay. on the Mr.
The
Beat
people
episode.
who scroll the politics hashtag on YouTube Shorts are the type of people who listen to Lex Friedman.
That's probably that's
get
probably
a brain
true.
boner.
That's so probably true. Brett. Okay, first of all, I can't take your YouTube channel name is Brett Man. Okay.
That's awesome.
Bretta Man. Bretta Man.
Bretta. Oh, okay, that's a girl's name.
It says 3 weeks ago. Oh shit, it's a girl, guys. Brettaman or Brettaman. 1762 says, I have a feeling this channel will be gloomy for a long time with 2 crying laughing emojis.
This is an AI.
Well.
Okay. Controversial figure Fuda loving cockmaster comments.
Holy
I think
moly.
that. Do you know who that is?
The one and only. No, I have no idea.
The one and only.
Have you seen that meme where it's like a thumbnail of a YouTube video called like I booked a flight and sucked off a trans woman?
No.
Oh, let me put it in chat.
Is that even his YouTube name? Like in comments, does it even say Food Loving Cockmaster, or do you just
FLCM.
think that name is funnier?
Why is Tommy in it in our fucking recording chat?
What are you talking about?
What? Scroll up. Boom, and it's fucking Chuckle Sandwich.
And it's Chuckle Sandwich.
What?
Scroll up in recording chat. Okay, yeah. Oh, Food Loving Cockmaster. Wow.
Great YouTube. Look, all I'm gonna say is I don't agree with everything the man says or stands for, but I like him. Okay, I like Food Loving Cockmaster. He's been very kind to me, very respectful. As a trans woman, I feel very respected by Food Loving Cockmaster. Mm-hmm. He says, I think that's a part of it. I think the types of people who watch it are also easy. Oh, this is about far right grifters are also easier to sell things to than people who consume leftist content and because money is so important for being able to hire editors and graphic designers and keep up the momentum, it ends up snowballing. True. Mm-hmm. I really hate libs. Says keep posting your content that will rot at the back of the internet.
Okay. You got it.
Thanks
buddy.
for the engagement, Buster.
To be honest, I'd keep doing this even if no one was watching because I just enjoy spending time with my friends, which I'm sure this person isn't familiar with.
Oh.
But yeah.
Zanny the Blue says, I don't know, stating your pronouns is seen as an attack on their reality and disrespect of theirs. I knew you 40 years as a boy, so respect that. Now my parents use none of my names or pronouns, and they won't be forced to call me what I want to be, but disrespect me by calling what they believe to be, but my real name is Christian Conservative Midwest, by the way. Sorry to hear that situation.
Sad.
Based on your profile picture, I think it looks like you're also a furry, too. Good luck getting your parents to on board with that. That really sucks. I say that it sounds sarcastic. Yeah. I'm being 100% sincere. It's hard, dude. It's hard out here for furries.
Good luck on forming a better relationship with your parents who are vehemently opposed to your true identity. Good luck with that, buddy.
I love and respect the furry community. It's you guys are a marginalized group of people, man. It sucks. And I feel for you. Yeah, no more comments. That's
wow.
Holy shit, we just got a that's somebody on the That Dang Dad episode commented. Do you guys want to read comments from older episodes that we haven't read?
Sure.
I mean, do you want to just sit here and read comments? You guys love the comments.
Dude. That's my favorite part of the show. So to be here for it, to be here for one of the most essential comments.
Why'd you say that in the gooner tone of voice?
No, I didn't. I'm smoking a cigar and in a bathrobe.
Okay, that's also
with a podcast mic.
The Dumb Talk 1964 comment said, "Why is the animal noises so loud? They're not that loud. Shut up."
This is how Germans chat.
Oh, I'm treating you.
No. That person saying that the animal noises are too loud.
Riley and friends on the We're Back episode comments, Ferris is already off to a great start in their therapy career because I'm pretty sure being friends with Demigloom counts as valid therapy experience on a resume.
Well,
fuck off. Fuck you, Riley. I'll see you on Saturday, piece of shit. Israel-Palestine stuff I don't want to read right now. Yeah, that's about what we got.
Yep. All right.
At least that shows up in the notification feed. Squeebo the Last, where can our listeners find you?
My goodness, thought you'd never ask. Well, I'm on a few places. I'm on YouTube. I upload shitty Fever Dream videos. I think they're funny sometimes. I have a Twitter. Well, okay, for the YouTube, just look up Squeebo. Squeebo the Last. I'm the one with the Sanji profile picture. So that's pretty epic. I'm on Twitter. I think I'm Squeebs _to last.
This will all be linked in the description, by the way.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, Demi and Ferris, where can our listeners
find my
find
YouTube channel, Demigloom, DEMIGLOOM, and follow my Twitter and my Instagram.
I'm Places. Look in the description.
Oh, we're not putting yours in the description.
Oh, sad.
I'm kidding.
I know.
All right, and that has been this episode, ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals. Anyone have any good jokes? Do we have a good joke before we go? Wait, no, I got one. This one's for Ferris. You know them.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. You're gonna ruin it. Okay, Ferris, if a dog and a pie cost got on a race, who do you think would win?
A dog and a what?
And a pie cost.
Pie cost?
Yeah. If a dog and a pie cost got on a race, which one do you think would win?
The dog.
Why do you think the dog would win?
Because dogs are so fast.
But you think it's faster than a pie cost?
Yeah, so I'm certain.
What do you think about pie costs overall?
Nothing.
Why?
Because
why?
There's no reason.
Do you have any questions for me regarding the material I just went over?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Squeebo, do you have anything to say?
What's a pie cost?
Say that again?
Yeah, what's a pie?
About $6. Oh, that was so funny. Ferris, did you get it? Is that why you dodged the question?
I just knew it was gonna be a fucking suck my dick type joke, so.
It's not a suck my dick type joke.
It's the same. They make you say something silly, and then you say something silly.
Hey guys, spell ICUP. Whoa. Sorry. Do we have to delete this from the episode?
Yeah.
Is that too raunchy?
A little edgy.
ICUP is a little raunchy, yeah. It's called dark humor.
So true.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye!